All right, today we're just going to jump right in. Is it self-help or is it Christianity? Which one is the right one? Or is it both? Or is it neither? All right, so here's the deal. You ever read a book? You found a little bit of motivation, you pick up a book, spend the 20 bucks. You're like, yes, I'm going to take control of my life. Self-actualization, happiness, here I come. And boom, life happens. And all of a sudden you realize, well, I'm not in control. What do you do then when the relationship breaks, the business fails, your anxiety is so bad that you just can't sleep at night? Then what? Well, here's the secret that nobody wants to tell you. Jesus was the first self-help guru that we can really know about in history. Self-help would tell you, just think about this for a second, that you could solve all your own problems, you're the only one you need, you can do it all alone, you're responsible for everything, take complete control. Now, the other side of that is that some of Christianity would say, well, God's in control of everything and he's sovereign and he knows everything. So really, you have nothing to worry about at all because you're in control of nothing. And I feel like that these are two extremes and that both of them can be wrong. And no, I'm not saying Christianity is wrong. Obviously, I'm a Christian and I put my faith and my trust and my hope in and through Jesus Christ. However, I also think that Jesus teaches us to be personally accountable for our actions. What I think is that when self-help tells you to take control of everything, Jesus tells you, hey, you don't even control how fast your fingernails grow. If you have hair, what color your eyes are, you don't really control much of anything. Let me worry about the things that you can't control, and you focus on the things I've put in front of you that you can control. Here we go. Here's the shift. So the problem is that when you try to control the things you don't control, that's not a solution. You're just wasting a bunch of energy. And then when it all falls apart, you feel crushed and hopeless and helpless and confused. And now you're back to spending $20 on another book for a little bit of hope and inspiration that's only going to last momentarily until the next major event happens and you realize that you're not in control again. And it's this loop. It's this cycle, which is great if you're selling $20 books, but it's not so great if you're on the consuming end and you're looking for a solution to your issues. So Jesus tells us how to shift our focus. He says, come to me and I will take care of your problems, the ones that you can't control. Maybe someone broke your heart. You're not in control of that. Maybe you lost a job or a business failed or something happened that's outside of your control. God says, let me worry about those things. Here's a plate you can set those things onto, and I'm going to take that plate away from you. But God also has a really interesting way of putting things right in front of us. And those are the things he wants us to focus on. Maybe you've lost a relationship, but you have a great job. The job's in front of you. Focus on that. God's trying to do a work in your life, and he knows exactly what you need. And so whatever is directly in front of you right now is what you should be focusing on. Take accountability. Look in the mirror. Say, you know what, I don't like that, or I could do this better next time, and then make those changes. And if it's hard, which it usually is, ask God for the strength to make those changes. And so you see, it's this blend. It's this blend of both. Yes, we are called to help ourselves. However, we're also called to lean on God. And so I've had some people ask, well, is this inspiration, motivation? Is it, self-help? Is this Jesus? My answer is yes. Yes. It's all of those things. I think it is a blend. I think that God is given us a relationship in him where we can learn to trust him. We can read his word and receive instructions. We can communicate to him our needs and our gratitude and express that through prayer, and then allow him to work in our lives. I also think that he's given us a really amazing and beautiful brain that we can use to analyze and look at the things that we've done and things that we could do differently. So I think it is both. I think it's a blend of the two, and I don't think that we should ever get into extremes. I don't think that you're in control of everything because you're not God. And I also think that we need to be accountable for things too, because God does want us to put work in. Not that we're saved by works, so don't go there. However, the journey that we're on, this path that we're on, this race that we're supposed to run, we're supposed to let go of the past and press forward to run the race that's in front of us, is this constantly evolving journey that we're on of personal development or self-help. So in conclusion, I think accountability is really important. We need to be accountable for our actions. We need to be accountable for the part that we play in the areas of our life that we're not happy with. I also think you don't need to spend any more money on $20 books that are going to tell you how to self-actualize a perfect life, because it's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be a challenge. And the Bible tells us that if you put your faith and trust and hope in Jesus Christ, you are going to have trials and tribulations. He wants us to come to him with those things, not turn to ourselves. So thank you. Like and subscribe. I hope this helps. Have a good day, guys.